Good evening. I'd like to call to order the Old Bridge Township April 11, 2023 council meeting. Please rise for a pledge of allegiance. Please remain standing for a moment of silence and for our prayer. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. As customary in this chamber, we stand for a moment to remember those who are protecting our freedoms, both here and abroad, for our first responders, and for those who have made the ultimate sacrifice. And this evening, Dr. Greenberg?
Yes, I'd like a moment of silence once again, sadly, for another tragic, senseless mass shooting in downtown Louisville at the Old National Bank. For Timothy Elliott, Joshua Barrett, Juliana Farmer, James Toot, and Deanne Eckert. A moment of silence, please.
Our prayer, Mr. Pescitti.
Dear Lord, bless thy servants in the ministry of public affairs who serve thee in this chamber. Give us quiet minds and hearts that we may hear your voice. Help us to know when to speak, when to be silent. Give us strength to oppose the wrong and uphold the right. And grant that we have a good conscience at soul, at peace with thee and with one another. Amen.
Amen. Please be seated.
May the sadness and devastation come to an end.
Okay, good evening, everyone, and welcome to the meeting. We're going to do proclamations. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Roll call. Councilperson DeCaro? Yes. Councilperson DePalma?
Here.
Councilperson Desai?
Yeah.
Councilperson Garcia?
Yeah.
Councilperson Dr. Greenberg Belli? Let the record reflect that Councilperson Murphy is absent. Councilperson Pescitti?
Here.
Councilperson Walker? Here. Council President Sohar?
Here. Yes, Mr. Murphy called and said he would not be here this evening.
This meeting is being held in conformance with the Open Public Meetings Act. Notice has been given to the official newspapers of the Township on January 6, 2023, and has been posted in public places. Next open public meeting of the Township Council will be held on Tuesday, April 25th, 2023, at 7:30 p.m.
Thank you. We will start out with certificates of achievement presented to Logan Roman and Tyler Sagi for Old Bridge High School Wrestling. Good evening, Mayor.
Okay, good evening, everyone. I thank you for giving me the podium here. We have some special guests in our audience tonight that I think we should, and we are going to recognize there for their achievements. First, I would like to ask Old Bridge Wrestling coach John Post to please join me at the podium. Coach Post, I'm sure as he is known amongst his wrestlers, was just named District Coach of the Year, Region Coach of the Year, and most recently, NJ.com, Greater Middlesex County Coach of the Year. Congratulations, Coach.
Wow.
And I'm sure the reasons that he has been recognized because of his the way his wrestlers have achieved greatness this year. Tonight we're going to recognize two wrestlers that I guess went above and beyond this year and really made some headlines for the Township of Old Bridge. So receiving the first award is senior Tyler Sagi. If you can please join us, Tyler. Tyler, longtime Old Bridge resident, began his wrestling career with the Old Bridge Mat Rats program, where he was Youth Wrestler of the Year in 2016. Tyler, congratulations on becoming GMC champion, district champion, regional champion, and placing fourth at the NJSIAA State Championships in the 157-pound weight class. Tyler finished this season 42-3. And Tyler ends his high school career with 137 wins, the most in school history. But I want everyone to pay attention to this last sentence. Tyler is setting himself up for greatness. Tyler will be attending the U.S. Naval Academy at Annapolis, and he will be representing Old Bridge as a midshipman. Tyler, congratulations. We're very proud of you, buddy.
Thank you.
And what they say, the athletes of the past become the leaders of the future.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Our next award, Logan Roman. Logan, please join us. Logan also wrestled his youth career with the Old Bridge Mat Rats and was Youth Wrestler of the Year in 2018. Logan, congratulations on becoming GMC champion, district champion, regional champion, and overall state champion at the NJISA State Championship in the 113-pound weight class. You're only a junior, so we got this locked up next year. And this is a great achievement. If anyone knows wrestling, becoming a state champion is very, very, very difficult. And Logan becomes the first boys state champion in the Old Bridge High School history since they merged. I believe our last champion, Madison Central, was over 20-something years ago, 28 years ago, right before the schools merged. So Logan finished his season at 45-1. Congratulations. Thank you. One more round of applause for our athletes and our coach. Make Old Bridge proud. We are proud of you. Thank you so much, everyone. Can we get pictures?
Old Bridge proud.
All right. Good job, guys.
Coach, thank you so much. Great job. Thank you, Council.
Thank you all very much. Congratulations. We wish you well. So proud. Next will be presentations. Anna Feltz. Good evening. Another Old Bridge proud. How are you?
Yes, thank you, Council. As mentioned a few meetings ago or a few weeks ago,
Yes.
Anna had the honor and privilege of leaving Old Bridge for a day and a half and attending a function at the White House.
Oh, Anna.
And I think one of the greatest feelings that you have as a business owner or as the mayor is when you see people achieve. And in Anna's case, you've always achieved. And it's so rewarding that when you see people grow and become outstanding in their career. And Anna has a lot to offer and a lot more to do. So she did make us Old Bridge proud, and by going to the White House, and she's going to tell us a little bit about her once-in-a-lifetime experience and what she learned and what she brought back to Old Bridge. And she's so excited to move forward. But I think based on my debriefing, as they say, when you leave the White House, no, she had a great time and got the opportunity to speak. So
Thank you
the
so
Old Bridge
much.
voice was heard around the
Yeah,
country.
to be in the voice for Old Bridge. Thank you so much.
And wherever Anna goes, good things happen. So
Yes.
the White House was a better place that day.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, Council. So I was asked by Mayor and Mr. Shaw to come and just speak a little bit about my experience, and I would be remiss if I didn't tell you a little bit of the background from it. About 4 weeks ago, I got this very random email. It was a Monday afternoon at 1 o'clock. Matt had just left my office from our weekly meeting, and I get this email that says I was invited to the White House. I was like, okay, I got to call IT. This is probably a scam. So before I do anything, I'm reading the email. I'm like, this sounds really good for a scam. So I happen to have my personal laptop with me. So I'm like, I'm going to open this email on my personal laptop instead. So that way, if it's a scam or a virus, it's not, So I did that. And after a good hour and 20 minutes of researching the email, researching the attached link that came with it to actually RSVP to the event, I came to realize that it was actually real. So I frantically called Matt. I'm like, you need to get back to my office. He thought the building was burning down. I literally could not say the word. I had to show him the physical email, followed by calls to mayor and a meeting with Himanshu about it. It was all very real. So I was invited to attend an event called Communities in Action, Building a Better New Jersey. This is something that the administration has been doing with all the states. This was, I believe, the 15th one in the series. They've had Georgia was there recently, right before us, Wisconsin, Michigan, where they invite about 45 to 50 elected officials and community leaders to attend this half-day conference session event at the White House. So after the initial shock, the day arrived for me to attend. I did not know what to expect. I was prepared. They did let me know that I had to be prepared to speak. I was coming there as somebody who I guess they thought would be a good voice for the aging community in New Jersey, not just in Old Bridge, because when I got there, I realized I was the only one that was going to be speaking about aging. So that was a little scary. Before the event began in the afternoon, I was invited to a luncheon at the White House with White House staff, the Administration for Community Living, which is a division of the Health and Human Services Department, to discuss disability issues and aging issues in New Jersey. Going around the table where we got to introduce ourselves, I was hearing from colleagues in the state that talked about their roles in disability and different things like that. And when it got to me, I'm like, so none of you are here for aging? I'm like, okay, I guess I will speak on that. I did find out that my name had been brought up to White House staff by the National Council on Aging and one of the assistant director at the Administration for Community Living, who I had done work with during the pandemic to ensure that our residents were still getting their meals. So those were the individuals that recommended me to attend this event. We met during this luncheon, got to speak about issues. What I really like to see is that the staff from the White House was very much into the conversation. They had people there taking notes. It was really very impactful. It's not like, okay, we're just going to sit here and have lunch and just lay back. So it felt very purposeful. After the event, after the luncheon, we actually went to the actual event, which was attended by Ambassador Ann Rice, as well as various deputy secretaries of different departments, so the Department of Commerce, Department of Transportation, the HHS, so the Health and Human Services Department. All these different deputy directors got to speak a little bit about what they're looking to do. And the room was filled with people from New Jersey that wanted to see more being done. You know, it's great to have these different things that have been coming out, like the American Rescue Plan, for example, has had a tremendous impact on our senior center here and in the field of aging in New Jersey. But we need these things to be more permanent. So I made sure that when it got my little turn to speak and I raised my hands, I made sure to make that clear. I made sure to remind them of the Older Americans Act and how that needs to be ratified every year. This should not be a question. This should not be something that people in my field have to go and lobby to make sure it gets done every year. This should just be automatic. Same thing with disability. We're working on doing more here in New Jersey, and disability rights and action, there's so much more that can be done. And I learned so much about that day, which impassioned me even more to get involved now in that field. I just want to be an advocate for those who really can't advocate for themselves. This event really opened my eyes. It was really impactful. I got to tell them where I was from. I got a little nameplate with my name, and it said Old Bridge on it with the White House thing, and I thought that was so cool. You know, I get to bring this back. I took it. I was like, can I take this? They're like, sure. I'm like, great. I did manage to take a few pictures here and there. Obviously, as you can imagine, security is very tight. I was not about to find out, you know, what would happen if I took a picture where it says do not take a picture. So I did not want to make the news for that reason. But it was really a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity that I will never forget, and I'm happy that I got to represent Old Bridge in doing so. I still can't believe it happens sometimes, even when I look at the pictures. I shared this with my seniors who were completely over the moon. But I believe that what I'm meant to be is to be in this field, the field of aging, recreation, disability. You cannot age well without recreation and socialization, along with all the other vital services that we offer. I love that I can give my older adults here in Old Bridge a place where they can socialize and stay active, but where they can also have access to the resources that they need to age well and in place in the community that they love. And I'm happy that people in Washington got to hear me say that. So, thank you.
Standing ovation. Great job.
Thank you.
Thank you, Council.
Thank you so much. Yep. Thank you so much, Anna, for sharing all that great information. And I think it's just wonderful that you're such an advocate for us in Washington, and you made put Old Bridge on the map for all the good reasons. So thank you so much once again. We really appreciate it. Yes.
And I just want to say how proud we are that you come from Old Bridge, and what a fantastic job. And we're just so lucky to have you. I hope the White House is not trying to steal you from us.
Really? Are you in the West Wing? No. Thank you so much.
President NFLs.
That would be really cool. Congratulations, and thank you again. Approval of minutes of previous meetings, resolution approving regular combined council meetings, minutes of March 28th, 2023. Do I have a motion?
Move it. Second?
Okay, moved by Dr. Greenberg, second by Mr. Pescitti.
Roll call. Councilperson DeCaro.
Yes.
Councilperson De Palma.
Yes.
Councilperson Desai.
Yes.
Councilperson Garcia.
Yes.
Councilperson Dr. Greenberg Belli.
Yes.
Councilperson Pasquitti.
Yes.
Councilperson Walker.
Yes.
Council President Sohar.
Yes. Bill list, Mrs. Walker.
Accounts payable, April 11th, 2023, $5,081,480.85. Payroll, March 31st, 2023, $1,183,169.04. Payroll overtime, March 31st, 2023, $40,492.09. That concludes the bill list.
Thank you. Do I have a motion?
Move it. Second.
A move by Mr. Pescitti, second by Mr. De Palma, and may we have a breakdown of the overtime, Mr. Shaw?
Thank you, Council President. As Councilwoman Walker indicated, total overtime for this pay period was $38,160.45. There was no uptick in any other department. For police department, the total overtime for sworn officer was $30,647.29. Deduct grants, $826.04. Deduct ETO, $19,235.37. Deduct accreditations, $1,554.63. The net overtime was $9,031.25, representing 144.5 men and women hours. There was no pandemic cause, and the 2 officers were injured on duty or on light duty. That concludes my report, Council President.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Shaw. Roll call, please.
Councilperson DeCaro.
Yes.
Councilperson De Palma.
Yes.
Councilperson Desai.
Yes.
Councilperson Garcia.
Yes.
Councilperson Dr. Greenberg Belli.
Yes.
Councilperson Pasquitti.
Yes.
Councilperson Walker.
Yes.
Council President Sohar.
Yes.
8 yeses.
Next will be public hearing adoption amendment for those ordinances for second reading. H1, ordinance amending ordinance 2022-01, fixing the salaries of certain officers and employees of the Township of Old Bridge for calendar year 2023-2024. Do I have a motion?
Move it.
Second.
Okay, moved by Mr. Pescitti, second by Dr. Greenberg Belli. I'll now open it up to the public. Is there anyone in the public who wishes to be heard on H1? Seeing no hands, I will close public portion, and I now go to council. Anyone on my left?
President,
Yes.
if I may, I just want to give a little brief overview.
Yeah, please.
As I requested. I think, sometimes the salary for the department head, I know has been a controversial issue in the town, but I think Mayor will concur with me that what we have accomplished in this town for the last several years would not be possible without the assistance or without the hard work of our department heads, the leader in each area. And I think that should be recognized. The second thing I want to point out, and I think there was some misconception, while the budget included salary increases for mayor and council, this ordinance does not include salary increases for mayor and council. So there is no change in the salary for the council member. There is going to be funding, and as we discussed during the budget workshop, and as we discussed during, in my comments during the budget presentation, that eventually we'll be able to use that, we'll transfer that money and use to hire additional employee, and most likely in a public safety department, as we're trying to grow that department. The second thing I want to point out is that this budget includes all of these salary increases, and this budget was adopted with a decrease in a tax rate. So I think that it's not going to have any additional burden to our taxpayers. Some of these department head, I think over the last several years, we have imposed additional responsibility. For example, our tax assessor is now going to be responsible for the revaluations coming. This town hasn't faced revaluation for over 50 years, something like that. It's going to be a massive task, and I think it's appropriate to have a compensation for those. Our engineer, who is not just the township engineer, but manages all our building repair, renovation projects, and there are massive projects management that takes place. That used to be either outsourced with the thousands of dollars of cost. And just keep in mind that the amount of escrow income we generate by our planner, our engineer, is tremendous. So that, I want the council to keep this in mind in perspective. The last thing is that I want to bring out is that we have, over the last year, gone through all of our union negotiation, and we have done significant adjustment to the salary. So in that case, our chief would be getting less money than our captains. I don't think that's a position that we ever want to be. So there are domino effects of our action, and they were justifiable because we need to be competitive in the industry. Right now, we're struggling, and I have reported to you time again, hiring. We're losing employees. There was a big uproar about our police officer. We were losing them, and we have addressed all of those things. And so it's the same time we need to address with our leaders of this township. And so I am recommending wholeheartedly that, and I'm requesting council that they would consider adopting this ordinance.
Council President, I'd just like to echo Mr. Shah's. This is the team that is responsible for all the success here in Old Bridge. If it wasn't for the team, me and Mr. Shah would be out for a walk. So we can't get things done without a team. We've assembled a great team here. And as Mr. Shah said, we need to be competitive with other towns. So I would highly recommend that you adopt this salary ordinance. Thank you.
Thank you. Now, any council member, Mrs. DeCaro?
Yes. Thank you, Mr. Shah, for that preemptive, anticipation of some of my questions. I don't think anybody doubts the importance of any of the employees in this district in any way, shape, or form. Everyone is needed. They're all cogs in a chain. That goes without say. But my question is, so this original ordinance fixing the salaries that was approved back in 2022, January of 2022, it shows the incremental increases from 2022 to 2023 and 2023 to 2024. Some of the increases are, some people, like as of tonight's meeting, are more, and some are staying the same. I have not heard or seen any kind of justification, even in our budget meetings, like when we talked about them. Like there was no real, this person is getting more money because of this reason. So my concern is, number one, we're voting on all of these salaries. Some are increases, some are not. They're all lumped together. And I'm not sure why. Like, I'm not sure what the change is. And I know you've explained it. I get it. I heard what you said. But everyone's important, right? I mean, I would love to pay everyone $1 million. I mean, they're all worth it. But obviously, that's a ridiculous thing to say, right? So can you explain to me why there are some people that are getting increases to what the original amendment was, the original ordinance, I'm sorry, and why some people are getting increases and some people are not?
I can try to explain, making sure, and Mark, stop me if because I don't want to individually talk about, about individuals, but I can give you some general idea. Like I mentioned, the tax assessor is getting an increase because he's gonna be assigned with the duties of handling revaluation of 22,000 properties in town. It's a major task. I can't even explain that. And some point, Brian will be here to explain once we get all the approvals completed. In another department, we have not done an increase because the certain positions were hired. There's still room. Now, let's make sure that everybody understands that this is this max salary that we can afford. We cannot give any more than what's in the ordinance in terms of the salary. So this sets the maximum amount, and the only way it changes by ordinance. So some people, when are hired at the lower level, will be able to afford some increases within that. So there will be an adjustment on that basis. And then others, we have done increases in the past, or our evaluations. Mayor and I do, evaluation, not just the department heads, but every employee in the town. There are non-union, because union positions are covered by bargaining contract, but there are many non-union positions. We look at the performance, we look at how they have handled a situation task, and then we do make an adjustment as necessary. And there will be made adjustment this year, just like every year. So that's, some of the reason. And I explained to you, the chief of police probably has the largest amount here. When you look at the percentage or dollar, is because he would be making less than a captain. And to maintain the difference that were existed before we made changes in patrol, superior officer in 21, the PBA, police officers in last year, and then captain last year. Those are all effect, and then we're now adjusting chief of police. So those are some of those where the variation takes place.
So why then have an amendment, original amendment in 2022, that speaks to what the incremental raises are for the next couple of years, when you're going to change them? When you don't know what the job's going to be and you don't know what you're going to,
I think that when we did that ordinance in 22, beginning of 22, we were not settle with any contract. We had done the base, if you look at every contract, and if you look at that ordinance had an exact same cost of living adjustment offered to department head that was offered to all the union in their base adjustment. So every union contract, every non-union has the cost of living adjustment same, including department heads. And then we have other adjustment that we offered. And you're aware of that, what we talked about in PBA, and superior officers and a captain. We have gone through that. So there are significant adjustment in those contracts, and this just reflects further in the ordinance.
And is there for lack of a better term, is there like a formula that you have, like a percentage increase, incremental per year to equal a certain amount? Like, okay, over the next 4 years, we're going to increase your salary by X percent, like, is that, like, how do we gauge the incremental? I'm still trying to understand why it's different tonight than it was. And I hear what you're saying with the different jobs and the different responsibility. I'm just trying to figure out why that wasn't something that we were aware of, last year.
This was only possible for a number of two factors. Last year, we generally do a salary ordinance for department heads, which is the only salary ordinance required under the statute. So we only do it for these positions.
I understand.
Okay?
Yeah,
So
I'm not talking about
we
any
do
other
it on the beginning of the year. We had done that. At the time, we had no idea what our financial position will ultimately be. So we basically did what we were going to offer as a cost of living adjustment for department heads. And we subsequently did contract negotiations, adjusted salary beyond the basic cost of living adjustment, which was 3% in 2022, 2% in 23, and a 3% in 24. That was, if you look at every contract, you'll see the same pattern of settlement. Okay? So
But that's
that
different.
was that
That was in
ordinance done in 2022.
Right.
Now we're
That's
coming
different.
back after we saw that we can afford. Affordability is one of the biggest thing for us. And we incorporated this in the budget, and we said, okay, we are recommending now. So this ordinance is introduced at the last meeting when we were finally adopting the budget.
Are you,
Mr. Shah, I think I understand
excuse me.
quite bit
are you through? Okay.
statement, but one point, and I just want to hammer it and make sure. The 22 ordinance adopted 3%, 3%.
Yeah, please. Thank you.
22, we had 3%, 3%, 3% for 3 years.
3 to 3.
Whatever the number, because
Okay,
I
all right.
don't have right now. So that is still there.
Well, that ordinance actually.
And this is plus.
I'm sorry.
This is on top of it.
No, this ordinance now replaces that. So those
Okay, so
those percentage are incorporated, everything, yes.
Okay, that's what, because I don't want a double dipping. That's what I want to make sure.
Council, the ordinance in front of you is real-time, it's fair, and it's equitable.
And I just
When you get
want-
administrative positions and you have responsibilities, this is the decisions you have to make. So if you want to use a formula, come up with the formula and we'll apply it. But we can't. We apply good common sense when we come up with these numbers.
And I understand, Mr. Shah, from your point of view, that right now, police captain is making more money than police chief. That's very unusual, and I think that's not a good morale for the head of the department. So when I'm thinking that way, because I as a private business owner, I also think the same way. If my head number 2 is not getting enough and number 3 is getting more than that, 2 will leave. So preserve the good people who are working for township. So on that note, I can support this ordinance. But my
Thank you.
main question, I did not want double dipping, which you clarified.
Right, now,
One other thing, Ms. Sohar, I want to state, and I was not going to say it, but when Mr. Shah already said that last meeting when we passed the budget, he said there was no tax increase. Mr. Shah, you are a number guy, I'm a number guy too. I understand not only this year, but last many years, we did not have a tax raise according to Mr. Mayor and we hear during political campaign. I don't want to go in there. But the tax was not increased. Nobody understand why. It's not that our expense went down and we didn't raise the tax. What happened during that 8-10 year period? The town grew. More residential as well commercial development came out. So the tax base increased. So revenue increased. And that is the reason we did not have to raise the tax. If revenue was stagnant, then we definitely would have raised the tax. I just want to clarify for understanding purpose only. I'm not trying that you lied or you did not represent properly, but that's a way. Recently in Star Ledger, last week I think I read that one of the township had during budget discussion, this was a hot discussion. And at that time, CFO of that town agreed that yes, that is the reason we are not raising tax, because we have a more development, commercial development, and the tax revenue went up. But again, with that development, you have expense also. I understand.
I agree with you on one point. So let me clarify that. I think that it is a very difficult thing for everybody to understand. The government budget, the municipal budget, and the law, it's not just the numbers, it's the laws, it's how you budget, how you preserve, how you spend. There are many requirements. But I can tell you, I can sit here and say that I think this is the best run town in probably entire state of New Jersey, but in guarantee Middlesex County. So let me clarify that. Yes, the expense goes up. The cost of living adjustment is going up. The expense is going up. And yes, the revenue that we have generated. Now, if you look at the last 10 years, there are years we have an increase, there are years we didn't have an increase. And I'm not saying that in the future we'll never have any increase. But if you look at the comparatively, our increases, if you compare to CPI, I think we're below CPI. And I think some of those points I made in my presentation. We are below the CPI index, which is the barometer for any businesses, for any government to compare themselves to. Number two, when you look at the other town and how their impact is, how they practice budgeting, how they manage their taxes. They get a windfall one year, and the next year they get a disaster. We have avoided that for many years. I've been here 30 years. This is my 30th year working in Township. When I took over this town in 1993, we had a $2 million deficit. We were coming up, $6 million in tax increase. And this room used to be full of at least 300 people, fighting over tax, fighting over every issues. I think we have come a long way from there. And you look at us in the paper, we're not there with a lot of negatives. Why? And that credit goes to our department heads, and that there is something that is happening here in a positive manner. And that's why we were able to offer level budget tax decrease, because we are not increasing outrageously one year and then reducing outrageously the next year. And yes, I agree with you. This year was a little bit, we were able to accomplish all those things because what we have accomplished in the last 2 years. Yes. And I can tell you, in 21, I was sweating. In 21, I was sweating that what am I going to do in 2022? And in 20, I was sweating because pandemic, we had revenue down dramatically. If you recall, we had to lower our fund balance, use surplus, almost $1 million. If that trend has continued, would I be able to propose anything we have done? No. But there are steps since then we have taken, and we have really, really advanced in terms of our good employee efforts. Thanks to you guys here at council, thanks to the planning board, taking, numerous meetings to accomplish the task that is now able to do it. And what I can tell you today is that we have done this, and I can't look at the 5-10 years, but I can tell you in the near future, we are on a good footings. We're not gonna be there. What happened in the past, in 1993 or 92, we had a massive layoff, wage cut in end of 2011. In 2012, we had those. I live with those nightmares. I was the one that attacked by a lot of employees, a lot of council member back then, that I was taking money, I was doing something. So I know what that nightmare is, and I am pretty sure we're not stepping into that. But I can't tell you, I'm not going to be here forever. I can't tell you that this is forever. But I can tell you the next year, next 2 years, I think we're on a solid ground right now, unless a massive emergency takes place. So I just want to say that's the difference compared to what you see. And I don't know what town you look at it, but I can almost guarantee that this group of people here, and you are all council members, it's not just work, this is a total team efforts. I guarantee you that town, we're better off that town. That's what I can sit here and say.
Okay. The last point or question, is this new raise, new salary, 23-24, is it retroactive to January 1, 23?
Yes, correct.
Okay. I just want to understand clear.
No problem. I want to make sure that we provide all information and you make informed decision, whether you agree or disagree, but I want to make sure you make informed decision.
Anyone else on my left? Mr. De Palma?
No,
You through, Mr. You through?
thank you.
Okay, sure. Mr. De Palma?
Just wanted to comment on it. I think, looking at the salary raises that are going and, obviously being able to do it with a tax decrease this year, I think it's a testament to not only the smart budgeting that has happened over the last couple of years, but also a testament to the folks that are sitting in front of us every council meeting, right? Whether it's Nicole, Casey, Matt, Dawn, whomever that might be, from the department heads, the chief of police, you can go on and on. I think it's a testament to the great work that they've done and deserving of this. Because I don't think if there was a non-deserving member, they either wouldn't be here or they wouldn't be getting that. I think all the good work that they've done through town, all the good things that they do for the residents of this town, this is reflective of that. And it's the longevity that these folks have as well. So, thank you.
Thank you. Anyone on my right? Dr. Greenberg?
We have seen time and time again, we have now, as we said last time when we adopted the budget and at the last meeting, we are a AA1 bond rating. And that states that a secondary agency evaluates us. Not all of us sitting in this room, not department heads, not the Department of Finance, that we've been evaluated and we've been fiscally responsible. And this is how you can achieve this. In this budget, in our budgets, there was no one-shot revenues. No one's selling land repeatedly to make payroll. And so I think we've come a long way when we can have a tax decrease and our department heads we're all in this together to make Old Bridge a better place and do their jobs with a professionalism that merits a raise in their salaries. And to think that we came off a pandemic and we were able to do this. So there's a balance that we're able to do, and you take this seriously. So I think we're on solid grounds, and I think it's a team effort, and I think the budget speaks for itself. Our audits have spoken for itself, and being a double A1 bond rating, and also a decrease in the tax. I don't think the Board of Ed could do that. I don't think the county does that. I don't think the state does that. So I want to say kudos to the administration. As far as the people, the heads of departments and the people that work here, I don't work here in the building day in and day out, but I can tell you, when I need assistance, when I need something done, I know that I can depend on the department heads to provide the information that I need to do the job that I have to do and relate things to the constituents and get things done. So thank you for that, and I think everyone who's employed wants to do a good job, that takes pride in their position. And really, for these times, I think we've come a long way, and I think it's very important to be at the meeting and to vote on the budget. It's really the map of what's going on for the whole year, and to take it seriously and to show up and be there. And I think that the due diligence should be done across the board in town, because as we said before, we collect the taxes here, but we get blamed for everything else that we have no say with. So at least, I don't care, we're heading in the right direction, and there's a balance throughout the town, that you have to have commercial, you have to have residential, and it's proven here. The proof is in the pudding. So thank you very much.
Mrs. Walker.
I just want to thank Mr. Shaw, the mayor, and all our employees for all the hard work. And I have to agree with Mr. Shaw, this is the best-run town in New Jersey. I came to council meetings for about 10 years before I ran for council, so I knew what was going on. And I saw the bad shape that the town was in before I took office with the mayor, and we turned the town around. And I think we're doing a great job. Tax decrease this year with a bad economic situation, some relief to our residents, and I just want to thank everyone.
Okay. And I also want to say thank you to Mr. Shaw for that presentation. I think it was very, very transparent and very open, and I think we are that way. And I do think that we have done a very, very solid job. I sat on a council where I wasn't in the majority, and I was witness to that kind of budgeting, and it was horrendous. And I think this whole building, everybody was worried, am I going to keep my job? Am I going to keep getting paid? Where are we at here? And when we had to do that horrific, the layoffs, that was not the mayor's want, but he inherited this really chaos. And it was a very, very stressful time here. You come on board a year in, no, you didn't see what went on all these years and how we came to this conclusion, and we're so proud of it. It's amazing, the change in this building, and a lot of it has to do with our personnel. During the pandemic, they stepped up. The things that they did were outside of what their job description was, but they did it, and they did it all, and they did it for us and for the town. This team is phenomenal. Look at tonight, just the presentation that Anna brought forth. She was invited to the White House. So here we have a team that we can be so proud of, so strong, and so Old Bridge proud. And I am, and I get very upset when people say, well, it's not really, you didn't really lower. Listen, what we've done with a nickel, we've made it into a quarter. And this is how we roll. And I am very proud of it. So to you guys, kudos. I think this is very important, and I think it sends out a really good sign to the rest, to everyone, that we're with you guys. Thank you so much. Roll call.
Councilperson DeCaro. Councilperson De Palma.
She said.
Councilperson Desai.
I'll vote yes to support the staff and morale.
Councilperson Garcia.
Yes.
Councilperson Dr. Greenberg Belli.
Yes.
Councilperson Pasquitti.
A resounding yes.
Councilperson Walker.
Yes.
Council President Sohar.
Yes, definitely.
7 yeses, 1 no.
Consent agenda, I will ask for a motion in a second, and then I will open it up to council members for separations.
Move it.
Second.
Okay, moved by Mrs. Walker, second by Dr. Greenberg Belli.
Councilperson DeCaro, any items for separation?
No, thank you.
Councilperson De Palma, any items for separation?
C2?
C2. Councilperson Desai, any items for separation?
No, thank you.
Councilperson Garcia?
I have none, thank you.
Councilperson Dr. Greenberg Belli? Councilperson Pasquitti?
No separations, thank you.
Councilperson Walker?
No, thank you.
Council President Sohar?
No, thank you.
So just
Yep. Yeah, we're going to do the balance first, and then
Sure.
we'll do C2. Okay, so we'll be voting on the balance of the consent agenda, everything but C2.
roll call. Councilperson DeCaro?
Yes.
Councilperson De Palma?
Yes.
Councilperson Desai?
Yes.
Councilperson Garcia?
Yes.
Councilperson Dr. Greenberg Belli?
Yes.
Councilperson Pasquitti?
Yes.
Councilperson Walker?
Yes.
Council President Sohar?
Yes. C2, Mr. De Palma.
Thank you. Just wanted to highlight this along with the budgeting and some of the smart ways that the town has been able to bring things to the residents. This is specifically about a grant, it's $12,000 in total that'll go to recreational opportunities for individuals with disabilities. I think it's a testament to some of the stuff that our rec department does, Matt and the administration, to ensure that all of our residents are getting needs met, right? Without having to constantly dip into the tax base, there are other avenues that we have over years gone out and explored and got. And in this case, it's money that'll go towards our residents with disabilities, which I think is great. So just wanted to make sure that we highlighted that and pointed it out to everybody of some of the good things that we have. We had the folks from Camp Robin here just a number of meetings ago. Again, just to make sure that folks understand the things that we are doing for all of our residents, not just individuals. That's it. If no one has anything else, I'll move it.
Okay, moved by Mr. De Palma, second by Dr. Greenberg Belli.
Roll call. Councilperson DeCaro? Councilperson De Palma?
Yes.
Councilperson Desai?
Yes.
Councilperson Garcia?
Yes.
Councilperson Dr. Greenberg Belli?
Yes.
Councilperson Pasquitti?
Yes.
Councilperson Walker?
Yes.
Council President Sohar?
Yes.
8 yeses.
Report of the Township Clerk.
I have no report.
Thank you. Report of the Township Attorney.
Nothing new to report, Madam President.
Okay. Administrative report, Mr. Shaw.
Thank you, Council President. Probably Mark likes this, the shortest report. Administrative report for April 11, 2023. Item number 1, CDBG fiscal year 2023 draft annual action plan. I'm sorry, I forgot to give copy to Mayor.
Problem.
Right here. Oh, okay. The Township of Old Bridge prepared a draft 2023 annual action plan for the Community Development Block Grant Program. It will be available from April 1, 2023 through April 38, 2023 for review and comments. Citizens may submit their comments in person Monday to Friday from 8:30 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. by email or mail. Comments submitted by email should be sent to Nicole Shapiro, Director of Community Development and a Township Engineer at nshapiro@oldbridge.com. Comments submitted by mail should be addressed to Himanshu Arsa, Business Administrator, Township of Old Bridge, 1 Old Bridge Plaza, Old Bridge, New Jersey, 08857. Copies of the plans are available for public inspection during regular township hours at the Office of Business Administrator and online at oldbridge.com/projects. Comments will be received until April 30th, 2023. Item number 2, Parks and Recreation Summer Program Registration. The Parks and Recreation Summer Program brochures are now available on our website. Registration for summer classes, half-day summer camp, and Camp Robin Summer Camp will start on May 10th at 6 p.m. For more information, please check the Township website at oldbridge.com/recreation or call 732-721-5600, extension 4999. Item number 3, Spring Leaf Pickup 2023. Spring Leaf Pickup will begin in all wards the week of April 17th. Residents should place their paper leaf bags at the curb on Sunday evening and keep them outside all week, rain or shine. For this full schedule, please visit oldbridge.com/recycling. That concludes my report, Council President.
Thank you. Does anyone have any comment or question for Mr. Shaw on the report? Seeing no hands, I'll need a motion.
Move it.
Second.
Okay, moved by Dr. Greenberg Belli, second by Mr. Pescitti.
Councilperson DeCaro.
Yes.
Councilperson DePalma.
Yes.
Councilperson Desai.
Yes.
Councilperson Garcia.
Yes.
Councilperson Dr. Greenberg Belli.
Yes.
Councilperson Pescitti.
Yes.
Councilperson Walker.
Yes.
Council President Sohar.
Yes.
8 yeses.
Thank you, Mr. Shaw. Next will be public comment on any subject matter for a maximum period of 3 minutes.
The public comment portion of our meeting is to allow the public to bring to the council's attention their concerns or comments. This section is open for any topic or items in the consent agenda. In accordance with NJSA 10:4-12A and the Old Bridge Rules of Council, the council asks the public to limit their comments to 3 minutes or less. Only one member of the public shall approach to speak to council at a time. The council will respect the public's time by refraining any comment until the speaker has finished with their allotted time. Should be further noted that public comment portion of our meeting is not structured as a question and answer session. If a member of the public has questions they seek answers to, an appointment can be made with the corresponding department's office during regular business hours. The township clerk will regulate the time during the comment portion of our meeting.
Is there anyone in the public who wishes to come up and be heard this evening? Seeing no hands, I will close public portion. Council comments?
Councilperson DeCaro.
Yes, thank you very much. First, I want to say, I hope everyone had a happy Easter and are continuing to enjoy their Passover and having, for those who celebrate Passover, and having a blessed and prayerful Ramadan for those who are celebrating Ramadan. I also want to say that I learned today through Facebook, actually, that there was a house fire and, in Old Bridge. And I was wondering if, as council members, we could be maybe alerted, because I had heard of it, I had heard about it, and I, would have loved to have gone over, offered some support or whatever, but I didn't know about it until it was almost all done. So I was just wondering if there was any way that we could somehow be notified that there is some sort of, major thing going on in the town. And of course, my heart goes out to the family, and I hope everyone is doing well. Couple things that I would like to address that has been said. A couple things that were said last meeting that I wasn't here, and a couple things that were said tonight. I again want to apologize for not being here last meeting at the budget meeting. Yes, I am extremely aware of how important that meeting is, which is why I was very intent on going to every single budget meeting and understanding exactly what the budget was about. And sitting with Himanshu and Dawn and Vicky to understand how to even read the budget. So, I did my due diligence on this budget. So I kind of resent the fact that people have commented that I wasn't here to try to imply that in any way, shape, or form that I did not think the budget meeting was an important meeting, let alone the fact that I already knew that there were 7 yeses to support the budget. So as usual, my vote would not have mattered. So it didn't matter whether I was here. And I was watching the YouTube video live. So I did take time out of my vacation that was really tough to schedule with the family members. And it was unfortunate that I had to have that vacation scheduled at that time, but it is what it is. So to imply that I did not think that the budget meeting is important is disingenuous. It is not true, and I resent that implication. And also to say that because I've only been on the council for a year, that my voice doesn't matter is also really offensive. I mean, I'm an elected member of this council, and I have an equal voice of anyone else. So to say that I don't get a voice because I don't have an opinion because I've only been here for a year is a little upsetting. But we'll move on from that. And again, so I did attend all the budget meetings, and quite honestly, I had heard so much about these budget meetings, about how, we go over every line item and we make sure we know, and yeah, we did that. But the only one that questioned anything was me. I'm the only one that questioned anything. Every other comment that was made was, oh, that's a great job. Oh, good, which is fine. I'm not criticizing. I think Himanshu and Dawn and Vicky did a very good job putting the budget together. But our job as council members is to question things. And the one thing that I questioned, which I'm still not happy about the answer, which is one of the reasons why, I voted the way I voted, I didn't get a positive answer. I didn't get an answer that was satisfying to me about how, when you put in mayor budget, $15,000, and then say, oh, we're going to put a budget line item for $30,000. That makes no sense to me. We're doubling the salary in the black book, right? You're also almost doubling the council member's salary in the black book, okay? So when I bring that up, Himanshu, you explained, very nicely, you took the liberty of doing it, and I understood, okay, that's great. But, and then I got such pushback from other council members, like, who's gonna put this ordinance? Nobody's gonna put an ordinance to give ourselves a raise. So my response was, well, then why is that money there? Why is that money in the line item, $60,000 that is sitting there that we know we're not going to use, because everyone on the council that was sitting at that budget meeting got extremely offended at the thought of anyone putting an ordinance in for increasing our salary, which we don't need. Listen, I was on Board of Ed for 5 years. I got zero money. So $6,000 for me is, great. I love it. I would never ask for more than that. So why is that money there? That is what I asked. And the response that I got was, oh, keep it there in case of a gas emergency. I did not like that response because we already have a gas emergency fund that's got approximately $250,000 in it, on top of the $525,000 that was increased because of a gas, the increase in gas prices, et cetera. So we have $500, $600, $700, almost $800,000, okay? So why do we say we're gonna leave $60,000 sitting there that we absolutely know we're not gonna use? Why not take that money and put it someplace else? I suggested putting it into Camp Robin. I suggested hiring another police officer. I suggested, hiring another code enforcement officer. None of that, I basically got shut down. So again, my voice clearly does not matter on this council. And, not anything that I have ever said. So I'm going to continue to speak my mind, whether I've been here a year, whether I've been here for 2 years, it doesn't matter to me. And I'm going to continue to speak my mind if something doesn't make sense. And I don't mean any disrespect to anyone. Himanshu, you know this. I mean, no disrespect to you, and no disrespect to any of the directors. You guys do an amazing job, and I don't disagree that you guys should get paid what you're getting paid. For me, if it doesn't make sense, I need to understand it. And if I get a good explanation on why it is, then I'd be all for it. But I still have not gotten a good explanation. So, this is why I say what I say. And once again, I was not at the budget meeting last meeting, but I watched it live. I do believe it's important. And the only reason I wasn't here is because I had purchased tickets to go on a scheduled vacation. That was the only week that I can go to schedule to see a family member. So I really would appreciate that, a little consideration be given and not little digs about how I wasn't here. There. And, other than that, I'm sure there's going to be rebuttals coming down the line because I'm the first one to speak. And that's fine. You guys, everybody can say what they want, but so can I. Thank you.
Councilperson De Palma.
Thank you. Just a couple quick things. Congratulations to the two young gentlemen that were here today. Great accomplishment. I think the mayor put it right. As these athletes kind of grow up, they become into great leaders. But also the fact going to the Naval Academy is such an honor for anybody in any town. And the fact that we do have someone who is as accomplished as he was in athletics and within our district and now is moving on to bigger and better things and going to represent not only Old Bridge but New Jersey at the Naval Academy and then ultimately representing Old Bridge in our own forces. It's an absolute great accomplishment, and we wish you all the best of luck. Also, as we get into spring cleaning season, just to remind folks that take a look at the township website and what the recycling center will accept, whether that's the white goods, so old refrigerators and gas grills and things like that, where the township will come pick it up at your curb, by appointment, or it's paint and bulbs, TVs, that we have a TV pickup. So as folks are going into that spring cleaning season, as I kind of do every year, and I just wind up throwing stuff out consistently, just make sure that you familiarize yourself with what the town will take and what the town will come pick up for you, so you're not spending money needlessly, because we already have those programs. Just recently on Facebook, I think it's this week is Ward 1, 2, and 3 for TVs, and then the following week, Ward 4, 5, and 6 for the television. Just make sure that you become aware of all of that. Follow the township on social media. We post those things all the time. Go on the website as well, just to ensure that what you'll be able to, what we take, what we'll come get, so you're not paying needlessly for it. And with that, I hope everyone enjoys the beginning of spring, and I hope all the kids and teachers had a great week off. Thank you.
Councilperson Desai.
Spring is here, but it feels like a summer. So this cycle of environment is changing rapidly. I think what I'm trying to say, spring is here means we all should enjoy, do some good outdoor activity, plant some trees or plant some vegetables in your backyard. Otherwise, I just wanted to say something more about Mr. Shah, which I mentioned in budget workshop also, and I think Mayor laughed at me because I think I did not make sense when I was saying, yes, Mr. Shah, you worked 30 years here. I know from day one, but I also know before that you work in Princeton Township. And I think none of us may be knowing, but Princeton Township at that time was at a verge of bankruptcy. And that was Mr. Shah, as a CFO, pulled that township also out of the woods. So kudos to you. You always give a best service to any mayor. Was it Miss Barbara Cannon or Jim Phillips or Mr. Henry? You always gave a good service, and irrespective of the party affiliation, you always work with the council people of the both party. So thank you, and I hope you give few more years to this town. I know you are senior citizen now, so I hope you can work little more for our township. Thank you. Thank you.
Councilperson Garcia.
To the old man, Mr. Shah, I want to thank you for all you do as well. And you are, like this I said, you are great, so thank you. And Mayor, you as well. And all department heads, really, thank you guys for what you bring to Old Bridge. Without you guys, we wouldn't be the best town in the state, probably maybe throughout the country, I'm not sure. But that's why about Old Bridge. But really, thank you guys. I mean, you guys do a lot. And Mr. Shaw, thank you again. That's all, thank you.
Councilperson Dr. Greenberg Belli.
Yes, I want to thank again the Old Bridge Elks for having the bikers rally this past weekend. It was a great event. They raised money for brain-injured children. It was well-attended, very exciting. Not only that, all the members of the Elks they're so organized, they all participate, and in order to have this function go off as well it does, they really know their places, organizing from taking, whether it's parking, taking tickets, cooking. It was really a fun event, so I'm glad that Debbie and I attended, Eric, the mayor, it was great. Then also, I do have to say, to Logan, Roman, and Tyler Sagi, I hope to see you when I watch the NCAA college wrestling every year. My husband was a wrestler at Penn State, so for that time of the year, I am forced to watch it, but I do enjoy it all these years. I have, and it's really quite an accomplishment, and it's phenomenal, and that's why it's so important. Academics along with athletics, they go hand in hand. And like you said, you see individuals like that, and then you do have hope. In spite of all the craziness in the world that goes on, you do have hope that we do have a bright future. So I like to focus on individuals like the two students that were here today and all their accomplishments, how proud their families must be, the coach. I mean, it's really a lot of dedication and effort and commitment. But they have a bright future, and I'll be looking for them while I watch the NCAA college.
Councilperson Paskiddy.
Yes, I want to echo those comments from Dr. Greenberg and from Councilman Garcia. Just want to mention quickly, we have an election coming up on June 6th, and we are in need of poll workers, election poll workers. It's Tuesday, June 6th, and it pays $300 for the entire day. And if you need training, they train you, and they'll pay you $30 to get trained. All right, so if you would like to be an election poll worker, please send me an email, tpaskiddy@oldbridge.com. Thank you.
Councilperson Walker.
Yes, I'd like to thank all the volunteer firefighters in Old Bridge. Today, we did have a structure fire. My husband is on Cheesequake Fire, and this afternoon, his pager went off and said it was a structure fire. Whenever I hear that, my heart sinks, and I can't wait for him to come home to tell me what happened. And we had a mutual aid from quite a few surrounding towns, volunteers, and I just want to thank all the volunteers for all that they do. People don't realize what a commitment it is to be a volunteer. They are out holidays, almost every Christmas and Thanksgiving for sure with unattended cooking. They're always out on calls, and how many birthdays and communions, but it's so rewarding. And a lot of people are not volunteering today, and I'm just asking that you would please consider going to your nearest fire station. We have 4 fire districts in Old Bridge. They're always looking for volunteers. It's very rewarding if you would consider giving us your time, and also our EMS is volunteer as well. And I just wish that people would consider doing it. It's extremely rewarding. And once again, I just want to thank all our firemen for today. Thank you.
Yeah, that was awful there in the Arbors on Shadowbrook. That was terrible. I can't even imagine losing a home like that to a fire. And also, congratulations naturally to the wrestlers. That was wonderful. We have so much to be proud of here in Old Bridge. And I just want to set the record straight. As far as being new or not, honestly, you can be here a minute or you can be here 20 years. I just want to make sure that people, if you don't have the history, what led up to tonight with these department heads. Everyone has a voice, everyone should. Everyone's vote counts, and that's really important. I just, having had been here as long as I have a little more history to share in order to come to a conclusion. And everyone, as I said, everyone has a voice and everyone has a right to vote how they feel, and they have their opinion, and their opinion should be respected. I just was giving a history. I also wanted to say I missed the Elks, unfortunately. I was away. But I heard it was a really very, very well-attended, event. So that's another thing in Old Bridge, that people just volunteer, and they're just amazing. And I just say thank you to all the volunteers. I need a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Moved by Dr. Greenberg Belli, second by Mrs. Walker.
Councilperson DeCaro.
Yes.
Councilperson De Palma. Yes. Councilperson Desai. Councilperson Garcia.
Yes.
Councilperson Dr. Greenberg Belli.
Yes.
Councilperson Peschitti.
Yes.
Councilperson Walker.
Yes.
Council President Sohar.
Yes.
Motion adjourned at 8:46 PM.